Hello, and in today's video we are doing predictions for match week number 25 of the 2023 to 24 championship season. We've got a couple of weeks to catch you up with, so we'll look at what our predictions were in game week 23 and 24 and see how we got on. We said 2-1 Preston win against Swansea. It was the reverse scoreline of that, so no points to me there. Bit frustrating. I went for a Bristol City 1, Hull 0, and that was a 3-2 Bristol City, so at least we got the correct goal difference there. 5 points for us. Lovely stuff. We also said Leeds 2, Ipswich 3. That was a bit bold for Ipswich because they got absolutely destroyed. 4-0. I mean, crazy stuff, really. An own goal from Leif Davis. Not exactly ideal for my Gaffer Championship fantasy, which I'll talk about in a second. And yeah, Leeds were absolutely rampant. So no points for me there. I also said 1-0 away win for Cardiff at Sheffield Wednesday. And they got the win there 2-1. So at least we got the 5 points for the correct goal difference. We then said 1-0 Sunderland against Coventry. That didn't go to plan either because Coventry gave them an absolute battering, 3-0 at the Stadium of Light. Not good for the first game. I think that was the first game, or was it the last game for Tony Mowbray? I'm not sure, but not good basically for coming in. The new manager, of course, Michael Beale, he's got a lot of work to do there. Stoke Millwall, we went for a 1-1 draw in the first game for new boss Steven Schumacher, and that was a 0-0 draw. So at least 5 points for the correct goal difference. We'll take those. Also, we said a 2-1 win for Watford, and that's exactly what happened. 2-1 away win. Lovely stuff. We thought Bayo and Asprilla would be on the score sheet with a Sammy Smodics goal for Blackburn, but no, instead it was a 2 goals late on from Watford. Clutch win. What a win. Love to see it. Now, that is the kind of character we've got under Valérien Ismaël, that we find ways to win games, and late winners from the likes of Reece Healey, and yes, yet again, the guy comes in clutch. It's Mr. Rajovic. What a goal machine, I tell you. So, yeah, great win. After conceding after 3 minutes, I was thinking this is going to be a long afternoon, but a really impressive win at Ewood Park. Not an easy place to go. And we were up to 7th after that result. Really, really good stuff after back-to-back away wins against them and against Preston, 5-1. And then Plymouth-Birmingham, I went for a 1-0 Birmingham away win. That obviously didn't come off. It was instead a Plymouth draw with Birmingham, 3-3, great game, and so yeah, fair enough. Birmingham with the point there. Plymouth trying to adjust to life without Mr. Steven Schumacher in the manager job. And then also we said 3-0 Leicester against Rotherham, and that came on true. So we had a great week basically in game week 23. Another correct score, 3-0, lovely jubbly Leicester City, thank you very much. We also then said a 3-0 Norwich, and it was 2-0, so close, but just the 3 points for us. We also said 1-0 away win for West Brom. That was wrong. 1-0 to Middlesbrough, so wrong way around again. And then finally, we said a 3-0 away win for Southampton against QPR, and it was, of course, 1-0. So I guess we got the correct result, 3 points. But all in all, 35 points in match week 23. Great week from us. Moving into match week 24 then. This is how we got on. We said a 1-0 win for Preston against Leeds. That was all right, 5 points. We don't mind that at all. Correct goal difference there as well. Decent stuff. Leeds, all of a sudden, after smashing up Ipswich, lost that game quite surprisingly. Millwall QPR, we went for a 2-1 to Millwall, and that was a 2-0 to Millwall, so at least 3 points for the correct result. We said Coventry 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and it was, of course, 2-0 to Coventry, so no points for us there. Not great for Sheffield Wednesday, that one. We also said 2-1 to Hull against Sunderland, and it was a 1-0 Sunderland, so they bounced back from that defeat against Coventry. So, yeah, important result that for the new manager, Michael Beale. So no points again for us. Not a great week so far, just the 8 points from the first 4 games. But then we said a 2-0 away win for Blackburn at Huddersfield, and that was a very, very well deserved Huddersfield win. Blackburn were all over the shop, so again, no points there. We said 2-1 Watford against Bristol City. That went to absolute muck. Rip up the plans because we lost 4-1 on Boxing Day. We always seem to do badly on Boxing Day, and it was a not so Merry Christmas for those Hornets fans. Destroying game, really. I mean, we scored the goal at least. We got a consolation back. His first Watford goal for Georgi Chakvedadze. But what I will say is, defensively, we need a lot of work. Like, obviously, the wins against Preston and Blackburn were great, But we're not the finished article. We know that. There's a long way to go in this project under Ismaël. But what I will say is work can be done. Tweaks need to be made. But ultimately, it's not the finished article yet. We've just got a solid foundation. It's just it didn't go well against Bristol City. And an own goal, second of the season for Wesley Hoot. Not exactly ideal. And so, yeah, fair play Bristol City. They absolutely dominated us. If you just look at the stats here, I mean, I say dominated. We had similar amount of shots, but even though we had more possession, like the kind of passing difference was Watford's. You know, it maybe on paper wouldn't have been a 4-1, but the way we defended, I mean, it was just terrible. So yeah, I haven't even watched the highlights because I'm just that depressed about it, to be honest. But no points, my prediction there. So still on the only 8 points from the first 6 games. Rotherham Middlesbrough, we went for a 3-1 Middlesbrough win. That was 1-0 Rotherham. Big surprise. I didn't see Rotherham winning that one, to be honest. So fair play to you, Rotherham. No points again. Southampton Swansea, I said a 2-0 Southampton. It was 5-0, so 3 points there. West Brom Norwich, I went for a 3-2 away win for Norwich. It was a 1-0 West Brom win. So again, another shock there. So many shocks this week, I've got to say. Kind of balanced out the good week of Game Week 23. Cardiff Plymouth, I went for a 1-0 Cardiff. And it was 2-2, so again, no points. We said a 1-0 Birmingham City win against Stoke. That was a 3-1 Stoke win, so as you can see, the trend here is going everything against us. And then finally, we said Ipswich 1, Leicester City 1. Yes, finally, something goes for us. Bang on scoreline prediction, you love to see it. That was a late equaliser for Leicester because I think it was an own goal from Yannick Vestergaard, so a nightmare really for the Foxes. But they're still up there, you know, top of the table. They've held their position at least. So yeah, all in all, not a great week, to be honest. A pretty tough week for most of the games, but at least 18 points in game week 24. But we move into match week 25 and we'll rattle through these ones. First up, we've got Plymouth against Southampton at St Mary's. Now this one for game week 25 I think will be a Southampton comfortable win because look, this season they've been doing really well scoring goals. So I'll say Southampton win this one by 4-1. Next up, we've got Ipswich against QPR. Now, this one I actually feel is going to be another battering because I know that Ipswich lost against Leeds and they couldn't win against Leicester, but QPR this season have been so poor this season. So I would say a nice, healthy 3-0 win for Ipswich with a brace from Chaplin and one for Keith Davis. And then we've got a game between Huddersfield and Middlesbrough. Now, I think this is a bit of a tight of the table clash, but I think Middlesbrough will just edge this one 1-0 away from home. Then it's a game between Hull and Blackburn. I don't think this is going to be a great game, to be honest, but I think Hull, with their home advantage after Blackburn's disappointing result against Watford, and then obviously the game against Huddersfield, they got destroyed. I think Hull can edge a 1-0 win here, and the only goal coming from Mr. Reliable Liam Delap. Next up, we've got a game between Watford and Stoke. Come on, you Orns. Last game of 2023, I do believe. So let's end it in a flourish. Obviously, it's a year that's seen us, not get the playoffs as we were hoping last season. And obviously, new manager. For once, we've actually had a manager for a long time. So just please end this on a win to kind of give Ismaël a bit more kind of assurances. Not that we need that because we've got a lot of assurances about him because he's given us back an identity and so much more. But I will say is it would be nice to end on a win. Obviously, the disappointment of the Ipswich game and the Bristol City game. So let's just end it with a win. Stoke are pretty low down the table. So you would hope on paper, it's winnable, but Watford are like, we find ways to lose the, on paper, easy game. So I'll say Watford 2, Stoke City 1. And goal scorers, I think Edo Kayembe will score in this one. He, of course, I think scored at the Britannia or Bet365 the last time they played last season. I think so, at least. But then also we'll go a goal from Watford from Mr. Rivich. And then the Stokes goal scorer, I will say it will be a goal from Mr. Don't even know any Stoke players, I'll be honest. Let's say, who can I say? Wesley. Let's go for Wesley, the forward. I don't know if he still plays for them these days. If not, we'll go for Lyndon Gooch. Why not? Okay, now, next up, we've got a game between Millwall and Norwich. Now, I feel this is a fairly comfortable Norwich win because Millwall have been struggling this season. So I'll say Millwall 1, Norwich City 3. Then it's a game between Preston and Sheffield Wednesday. I think Preston win this one. I think their recent, catastrophic defending is, not going to carry on in this game because Sheffield Wednesday are so low on confidence. Preston North End 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Then it's Coventry Swansea. I think this will be a tight game. I think it's going to be a score draw though. Coventry 1, Swansea 1. Then it's Birmingham City, Bristol City. I think after the impressive win at Watford, Bristol City will be very confident about this game. I think Birmingham have been a bit up and down. I'll say Birmingham City 0, Bristol City 3. Then it's Rotherham Sunderland. Now Sunderland obviously have had a few rocky weeks, but now they've got a new manager in the helm. Rotherham just beat a surprising win, to be honest, last week. They got that dub against who'd have thought it really. They didn't lose. Sorry, they lost to Leicester, but I meant the week before that, of course, they played someone quite good and won. I'm trying to remember who that was now. It was, I can tell you. Oh yeah, of course, they did beat Middlesbrough last week, but then they lost to Leicester the week before. So they will be bouncing Rotherham, but I don't think they can beat the fellow, North team. I'll say Rotherham 0, Sunderland 2. Then it's a game between the likes of Cardiff City and Leicester City. Now, this is interesting because how do I see this game panning out? Well, to be honest, Cardiff could cause an upset. I think Leicester probably could do something here, but they also will probably score Cardiff, I would say. Oh, do I think that? No, actually, I'll say a Leicester clean sheet. Cardiff 0, Leicester 2, but I don't think it'll be an easy one for Leicester. That's how I'll put it. Next up, then it's a game between West Brom and Leeds. This is obviously going to be exciting because both sides like to attack. I think Somerville will score, but I think Leeds will draw. West Brom 1, Leeds 1. And then, to round off, that is it. Those are my predictions for match week 25. I hope you have enjoyed. I will also predict match week 26 quickly because, of course, there are some, New Year's Day fixtures to get through. So we've got Sunderland against Preston. Now, this is a fascinating game, to be honest, because I think Sunderland probably win it, but Preston could equally score in this one as well. I will say Sunderland 2, Preston 0. Then it's Swansea, West Brom. I'll go for a 1-0 away win for West Brom. Leeds 2, Birmingham City 0. QPR 0, Cardiff City 1. Blackburn Rovers 3, Rotherham 1. Bristol City 0, Millwall 1. Then it's Middlesbrough 2, Coventry City 0. Norwich City 1, Southampton 3. We'll say Stoke City 0, Ipswich 2. Plymouth Argyle 1, Watford 3. Leicester City 1, Huddersfield 0. And finally, we'll go for Sheffield Wednesday 1, Hull City 0. We're going for a bit of an upset there. I think that's what's going to happen. So those are our predictions for match week number 25 and 26. I managed to squeeze it in there. So I hope you have enjoyed. Smash a like on it and get all of those score predictions in the comments section below. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.